It was recently announced that the TV show Keeping Up with the Kardashians will end next year. Now, I have some mixed feelings about it, but I also have some PR lessons that would benefit your business. So grab a cup of coffee and let's get started. Welcome to Coffee with Me, Myself, and Ivy, where I give business owners and professionals social media tips, communication industry best practices with pop culture examples. I'm Ivy. I'm just a public relations professional, feeding my coffee addiction and sharing with you some things I have learned along the way. Before we talk about PR lessons from Keeping Up with the Kardashians, let's start off with a motivational quote. I think we all need a motivational quote. If you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. Dolly Parton. For the love of it, Reese's. Don't know. I do this every week. Reese's, I do this every week. Do you want to be in the shot? You do want to be in the shot. All right. Reese's making her debut. Okay. So, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It's a show that's been on E! Since about 2008. I used to watch it in college. Now that I'm older and I'm paying back my student loans, I kind of don't watch it anymore. I check in every now and then, but I do not watch it anymore. Of course, we have our wonderful Kim Kardashian. We have Kris Jenner, the mastermind. We once had Bruce Jenner on the show, now Caitlyn Jenner, but Caitlyn's no longer on the show. And of course, we have Kylie, Kendall, Khloe, Kourtney, and Scott, and all their kids, and maybe some pets. You may love the Kardashians, you may hate the Kardashians, but one thing we must admit, they have left an impact on our pop culture and how influencers work and earn money. So you're probably wondering, how does this apply to my business in the sake for PR lessons? Well, I have about 4 PR lessons for you. PR lesson 1, social media presence is important. When I tell you the Kardashians have been on social media forever, they have it down packed. And they have been known in Hollywood for a while, especially because of their father. But they knew, even, I believe the show started in 2008. I remember Kim Kardashian was on MySpace. It may not have been Kim Kardashian, but I believe she was on MySpace. So make sure you know the importance of social media, because you may be thinking, I have an established business or I have an established product. I don't need a social media presence. Yes, you do. It's just proper etiquette for 2020 to have a social media presence that reach your audience. And if you do it right, we can get to PR lesson number 2, making sure social media can generate leads. So what's funny about this, my dad, he's in education, he coaches track teams. He has no interest in social media like that. But for some reason, he watches Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And he asked me a couple years ago, how do they make money on social media? Like, my father knows that. And he knows they know how to make money off of social media. And he's not even in the communications or marketing space. So if you do your social media presence well, you can generate leads like the Kardashians. I think every Kardashian, Jenner, and Scott is on social media, and they promote their products, they promote the show, they promote partnerships, events, they promote everything. And I know it generates leads. I have bought a couple of things because of the Kardashians promoted it. Matter of fact, when the news mentioned that the show would end next year, guess where their main source was? The Kardashian and Jenner social media accounts. So, that generated views, that generated us looking up, Keeping Up with the Kardashians again. We probably put it on our calendar to watch because it's the end, it's season 20. So long, farewell. I don't know where the Kardashians going. Probably still influencing. My point is, social media can help you generate leads. And that's one thing you can learn from the Kardashians through and through. So make sure you have a good social media presence. And if you have a great social media presence, you can generate leads, aka revenue, customers, opportunities, etc. If you made this far in the video, make sure you hit that like button and leave a comment below about other PR lessons you can learn from Keeping Up with the Kardashians or just the Kardashian-Jenner clan. Lesson 3. So the Kardashians definitely follow the 4-step PR process, which is research, planning, implementation, and evaluation. On the show, you can see many times that they're in planning meetings for an event, a product, a project that's coming up. And I'm sure if you see on the show they're at planning meetings with different people to help execute this, they researched beforehand before they did that. So I know for sure they research. And remember, there's different forms of research: formal, informal, quantitative, qualitative. I'm sure they did many forms of research before they got to the planning meetings. And then you can usually see the ribbon cutting in the next episode. And also that's just a form of implementation. Or you can see the product release. You see many things of the planning phase, the implementation phase, and then the evaluation phase. The evaluation phase, you can see they do that a lot. There's many products, projects, stores that they have had over years. Some of those things do not exist. Some of those things still exist. For example, I believe Kylie, for example, she still does beauty, but at one point in time when she was younger, she used to do clothes. She doesn't do clothing projects that much. She mainly stays with the beauty. And the same with Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian used to do a lot of different projects. Now she kind of stays with beauty, and she's even expanded to working in the legal system. So I'm sure that there's many forms of evaluation that happens with Keeping Up with the Kardashians that are well documented for us to all see. For example, the most recent thing is Kourtney straight up said, I don't want to be on the show anymore. She sat there, evaluated that, you know what, I don't want my kids around filming. Or I think she mainly just said, I want to spend more time with my kids. I don't like filming as much. And she left the show. So she realized when it comes to that particular project, aka Keeping Up with the Kardashians, she had an evaluation with herself of, do I want to still do this? And no, she decided, I think she has a lifestyle website now. So one thing the Keeping Up with Kardashians do that you can apply to your business is the RPIE process: researching, planning, implementation, and evaluation. Lesson 4. Don't forget about ethics. So in the past, the Kardashians have been accusing of staging scenes for the show. Now, we all know reality shows have a lot of staging and the producers are heavily involved about certain scenes, unless it's shows like Love After Lockup. Love After Lockup is grade A, hot mess. Please watch it, especially if you're single. You'll probably want to stay single after watching Love After Lockup. But back to the Kardashians. Kim was accused of allegedly staging a scene related to a very serious time in her life. And you don't want to go through that same thing of being accused of probably manipulating a part of your project, your program, your service, just to provide something to your customers. So make sure you think of ethics involved when it comes to your communications and marketing plans for your products and services. It's PRSA Ethics Month, and I would be foolish not to mention that if you have any questions on how to be more ethical when it comes to communications and marketing, make sure you check out PRSA's Code of Ethics so you can avoid situations where you're accused of allegedly doing something that may mislead your customers to receive your services or products. For example, there's something that happened in the news recently that got some public relations professionals in trouble when it comes to doing something in an unethical way. So please make sure you consider ethics when you are providing services, programs. Make sure you're doing it in an ethical way so your customers will not have any distrust for you. Because there are many things we can probably talk about when it comes to the Kardashians and when it comes to ethics, but there's definitely one that sticks out, and I just don't want to see that happen to you because you're just excited to get a product out there to your customers. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and join me every week for social media tips, communication industry best practices with pop culture examples. Remember, keep your peace.